Noted right-wing podcaster Candace Owens had on her program recently Nick Fuentes, self-avowed white nationalist and Hitler defender, on her program the other day, and it's pretty funny. It's funny because watching the dynamic between two right-wingers who are constantly wrong at every turn in their lives. Meanwhile, they're both very successful. We used to have, the right-wing blogosphere or the podcast sphere was, the intellectual types like, like Ben Shapiro and, and the like, Tucker Carlson and what have you. And now it has gotten to the point where it's people like Candace Owens, and Asmongold, a complete fucking moron, but for some reason the right wingers love him. He doesn't follow politics at all, but all he ever talks about is fucking politics and says how Donald Trump is totally based. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Candace Owens has got Nick on her program, and there are some shots fired.
The things that you say, I do think, okay, he doesn't take into account family. Like, it's just Nick. Nick is in his own world, which can be, I think, a quite selfish perspective, which is fine. That's what.
By the way, I forgot to mention that the rumor has it that this guy, Nick Fuentes, is gay. He's never had a girlfriend, what have you. He says that he is a self-avowed incel. That he's self-imposed incel. But a lot of people have speculated that he is gay. And that right there about her, taking a shot at him about not having a family, that is a subtle little, are you gay? Tell me, are you gay, Nikki?
You're saying you like being selfish is another way to say what you just said. I like being selfish and I don't want to give of myself to somebody else.
I also think there's something selfless involved, which is to say I could go and start a family and drag them into a world of mine, which is pretty chaotic, I mean, is this really the kind of a lifestyle?
Nazi.
If I'm banned on everything and I can't make a living, I'm banned from banking, I'm banned from credit card processing, I'm getting doxxed, people are showing up to my house trying to kill me, things like that.
One person showed up to his house after he did this whole thing where he, after the election in 2024, he went on this wild rant saying, your body, my choice. And he was laughing and cackling about it. And then some woman went to his house and he immediately, she hadn't even rung the bell, and he opens up the door and hoses her down with pepper spray. So, yeah, I'm being doxxed and people are coming after me. Man, nobody gives a shit about you, you fucking fascist short king.
I also don't appreciate the lecture. You don't know me. So I know you're married. I know you're older than me, but you don't know me. You don't know my life. You don't know my situation. I don't think you're in a position to give me advice, especially as a woman, honestly. I don't think women, this is something in the right wing. We say we're anti-feminist, and then women go around telling men what to do. We're not.
Oh, goddamn. Look at the look on her face. Well, she doesn't like that. None two bit. We're in the right, honey. We don't really take women's advice. The only thing that we want out of a woman is to bend over and take it, or go make me a fucking sandwich.
Their husbands. And, I don't really buy into that ideologically, but that's besides the point. My life has been tumultuous from the very beginning. From the time I turned 18, people were coming for my neck and trying to get me, and I was kicked out of college. And then, once you're branded as an anti-Semite, before it became cool or popular, can't get a job, can't make a living, get banned from PayPal, all this kind of stuff. That's a very difficult environment to try to have a dating life. What do? I go out on Tinder, I go to a bar, and I say, hey, I'm a neo-Nazi Nick Fuentes that the ADL is writing articles about every day. I'm going to start a dating profile on Tinder. People are going to screenshot that, mess with me in all kinds of ways.
He's literally admitting he's a neo-Nazi. By the way, they're coming for my neck. It's straight from fucking Redman, protect your neck, which is a black rap artist. So, I guess black culture is okay to work into your lexicon. I'm getting off topic here, but anyway, I just find it fascinating that he's chastising her over the fact that she has no right to give him any advice because, she's a woman. But I hate to break it to Candace. This is the bed that you made, my dear. You have decided to slip under the sheets of these, psycho right-wing white nationalists and self-avowed neo-Nazis. This is your bed, honey. How does it feel? Is it lumpy? Are the pillows soft?
Difficult predicament, actually, for me, because I took on basically a huge sacrifice at the beginning. And I don't know that you really appreciate that enough. I think that you're somebody who, you had a career in politics for as long as I was fighting a battle. You were at Daily Wire with a contract. You're at Turning Point. You're making good money. You're doing book deals. You're part of this thing that I'm criticizing and paying a very heavy price for at a time when no one's saying those things, when it's very unpopular. And it's not to say that I'm a victim, because...
Oh, I was being a racist way long before you. I was taking all the hits, man. I was taking all the fire. You got to have no right to tell me about, being a major player on the right when I've been doing this for my whole life. This guy's just... He's like 5 years out of having pimples on his face.
I did it willingly, and I love it, and I would do it again. But it is to say that, you and I have lived very different lives. It's easy, I think, for you to say you had your husband, have your kids, you got your ducks in a row, made quite a bit of money, then you discovered the truth, and then you went out on a limb. And it's not to say you didn't make sacrifices and it wasn't a risk, and it paid off. You're doing great now, and I congratulate you. But with me, there was no calculation. I mean, I almost want to say I was 17. What's your excuse? I was 17 and I woke up. And I went balls to the wall, bucket of ice cold water, as you say. I made a lot of enemies, and maybe that wasn't wise, but I told the truth, and I took on extremely heavy cost.
You didn't tell the truth, honey. You were just openly fascist. That's all. But just so you know who both of these people are, let's take a walk. But come on back. Come on with me. We're going to take a trip back into history. Not too long ago. This is old Candace Owens when she was first getting started. This is before she got her shot at the Daily Wire, which is Ben Shapiro's outfit. And she's hanging out here with young Charlie Kirk, and he's handing her the mic. Let's see what she's got to say.
Yeah, I agree. I actually don't have any problems at all with the word nationalism. I think that it gets, the definition gets poisoned. By elitists that actually want globalism. Globalism is what I don't want.
Globalism, code word for Jews control everything.
So when you think about, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. He was a National Socialist, but if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany.
I mean, making Germany great and doing all the things that he did inside Germany, that's cool, I mean, putting Jewish people into ghettos and then shipping them out of the country into Auschwitz, into Poland, that's fine. But it was when he started having foreign adventures and then he was he was a globalist. Girl, honey.
He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German, everybody to be speaking German, everybody to look a different way. That's not, to me, that's not nationalism. So in thinking about how it could go bad down the line, I don't really have an issue with nationalism. I really don't. I think that it's okay. It's important to retain your country's identity and to make sure that what's happening here, which I think is incredibly worrisome.
Sweetheart, if the United States was to maintain its identity and its culture, you would still be a slave. Sorry, hun. That's just the way it is. Here's Candace getting berated by a rapper T.I. This is a few years ago, but I just found this pretty funny.
From trees.
I'll answer.
Or like the crack era. Which period in America are you trying to make America like?
So I actually think that I would totally rock a hat right now that said "Make Black America Great Again."
By the way, she was one of the first defenders to come to Kanye West's defense when he was talking about, how he loves Hitler and, and he started wearing the red MAGA hat. She immediately came to his defense, along with Nick Fuentes. which is why it's pretty interesting that they're having a little conversation. They're all buds, man. They all know each other.
Because Black
No,
America.
make America.
Before,
We're talking about
that's
make
not
America.
But
That wasn't the
no,
question.
I am answering your question.
Which period was America great that we're trying to replicate?
Well,
Which era was it? Tell me.
I think I'll answer your question.
Tell me.
I'm ready to answer your question.
Which era was it?
What?
Which era was so great?
Here's the thing that you guys are forgetting. America was actually one of the slavery was all over the world. All over the world. America was. I'm not saying it's okay. So why are you saying oh?
Hey man.
America was one of the first countries.
I want to like you so bad.
I'm trying to
you're
answer
so
your question.
smart. I want to like you so
If I
much.
can't answer the
I want to
question,
hear
it
you.
doesn't
I want to
matter.
be able to hear them. I want to be able to hear them.
Answer the question.
It's obvious that the crowd is definitely not a fan of her. Here she is interviewing Donald Trump. This is a little bit further back. I'm looking at blonde hair on his head, so this might be a little bit further back.
Is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had in 1917, remember the Spanish flu, killed perhaps 100 million people. And I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up
Which,
with...
by the way, the right fucking hates the vaccines. But here's Donald Trump, just touting the virtues of vaccines with Candace Owens. And, yeah, man, how times have changed.
3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are questioning how...
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
I mean, come on, man. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, I've had an argument, well, several arguments with different conservatives about this, the whole vaccine thing and how they wouldn't put that in their bodies, but yet they continue to defend Trump constantly. Trump never takes the hits. Trump never takes the heat for any of this stuff, even though he was the president, is the president now, but he was the president at the time who gave you the fucking vaccine. And you saw Candace Owens just trying to desperately go, well, actually, the vaccine is bad because of Biden. And he's like, no, I provided 3 vaccines for you. Why are you mad about the vaccine? Anyway, that was Candace Owens. Oh, by the way, here, this is a long time ago backstory on Candace Owens. Candace Owens has drawn sharp criticism for claiming that America is not a racist country during a conservative convention Friday after once winning a Connecticut lawsuit as a victim of racism. Owens' family received $37,500 settlement from the Stanford Board of Education after she accused a group of teens leaving her threatening and racist messages while she was in high school in 2007. The idea that America is not a racist country is just ridiculous. It's always been a racist country. It was built on fucking racism. Of course, nowadays she's talking about that it's not racist anymore, but she literally sued, her family sued, she received $37,000 for lies. It's hilarious. It's hilarious watching them turn on their own beliefs. Let's see here. This is Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is having a debate with Alex Jones. This is a few years ago. This is before Alex Jones found Ozempic, obviously. He's definitely large and in charge. But he is having a debate with Alex Jones about whether or not Adolf Hitler was a good guy or not. And Alex Jones, surprisingly, is saying Hitler is a bad dude. But Nick Fuentes, no. He's got different ideas about old Adolf.
Do you actually admire Adolf Hitler?
In some ways, yes.
And I'm not a National Socialist, and I'm not a, I wouldn't identify that way because I'm a Christian. So I'm not any kind of a socialist or a fascist. I believe we should have a Christian government. It's a Christian country. God runs the world. We should have a government in accordance with that. But honestly, I don't share this histrionic Jewish view that Hitler is this exceptionally boogeyman, evil figure. The 20th century is full of violence. The 20th century is full of authoritarian ideologies run rampant, and that's a product of modernism and liberalism and all kinds of trends. But this idea that my life is in any way impacted by Hitler, I have a lot more animosity for the ADL. I have a lot more animosity for the ZOA. I have a lot more animosity for the groups that have actually made my life and the life of my family materially worse, personally and across the board with the society. I'm sick of being expected by Jewish media and Holocaust museums to beat my chest like you kind of did the other week and say, oh, I hate Hitler. Hitler's a... It's like this weird... It's like 1984, when they put the face on the TV and everybody's got to get all wound up. He's
You're talking about 10 minutes. Figure. You're talking about 10 minutes of hate. Well,
I mean, yeah, man, it's so weird that everybody, brings up Hitler in a bad light. It's so strange that, 6 million Jews died during the Holocaust. It's so weird that people keep bringing him up as a boogeyman. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, I'm only a white nationalist neo-Nazi over here. I don't get why people are so upset about it.
Legitimately hate Stalin, hate Mao, hate Hitler, hate the ADL, hate Barack Obama, hate the Democratic Party. And I've always, remember me on Piers Morgan? I didn't get a call from the ADL when I was on Piers Morgan, the most popular thing he ever did. The biggest thing CNN did that year, they had the ratings. They had like 50 million viewers for that. Their average show had like 10 million back then. And I said, Hitler took the guns, Stalin took the guns, Mao took the guns. And if you try to take our guns, 1776 will commence again.
Yeah, man, we need the Second Amendment to protect the First Amendment. Oh, wait, we don't have the First Amendment anymore? I guess them guns didn't do any good.
I've always criticized Hitler. I've made documentaries about the Bush family helping fund Hitler and the British royalty. So where we have a sticking point is that Alex got the call, as you sent out on social media. And I'm just curious, do you think I actually got a call to come out and criticize Hitler? You think that's a new thing for me?
No, I know that you're very vocally anti-Hitler over the years. I know that you're more of a libertarian, and so you have this view of history which lumps in together Mao, Stalin, Hitler as authoritarians versus freedom fighters, capitalists. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. So
he's putting Adolf Hitler in with capitalists, and honestly, he's not super wrong about that. Dyed-in-the-wool capitalists and fascists, they kind of go hand in hand. If I'm not mistaken, Adolf Hitler had a portrait of Henry Ford on his wall because Henry Ford used to put out this pamphlet saying, the Jewish problem. And, Hitler appreciated the capitalist Henry Ford. So I guess that makes sense.
I'm familiar with your show and all of that. And honestly, it was a little bit glib. You called me baby Hitler. I said, you got a call. Quite honestly, it's banter. But it is well known that you don't really talk about this issue. You're more talking about New World Order, Bill Gates, and these sort of obscure conspiracy theories like Bilderberg. My show's a lot more focused on, what you might call the Jewish question, which is what are we to do about this Jewish elite, these Jewish gangsters that run our Christian country?
Jesus Christ, man. This guy he's full fascist, man. He is absolutely full fascist. Yeah, check this out. Millions of women enraged by Trump's win. Well, there's a reason why, because when you have pod bros out there saying stuff like this, they fear for their lives and their safety, especially around people like this.
I'm just a girl standing in front of the world asking for a president who isn't a rapist. Request denied.
The feel when we control your bodies. Hey, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again, okay? Men win again. And yes, we control your bodies. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman.
God, he's such a fucking dork. Look at him. He's such a fucking dork. He ain't had pussy since pussy had him.
It's your body, my choice.
Disgusting comments like that are going viral.
Oh yeah. Here's Candace Owens. I keep going back and forth because each one of them is kind of I want to top you for the worst takes of all time. Here, hold my beer. this is Candace Owens now on the defending of Harvey Weinstein. And she did a 2-part interview with him while he is in jail, and she is now trying to wash his reputation. She is no longer at the Daily Wire. She does not like what Israel is doing to the Palestinians, not so much because it's a fucking genocide and it's horrible, but she doesn't like Israel. She doesn't like Netanyahu. I don't think she likes the Jews very much either. Neither does Nick Fuentes. But Ben Shapiro, who is very Jewish man, wears a yarmulke on every show. He practices the faith. I don't agree with him politically, but he is a very much a practicing Jew. And after so many hot takes on what Bibi Netanyahu and what Israel is doing in Palestine, he pretty much showed her the door. And in fact, it was probably the best thing that could have happened to Candace Owens, because now that she's on her own, she's doing very well. She is still talking politics, but she's also kind of mixing in pop culture and true crime drama, which I have people and friends and family in my life who like watching like true crime stuff. Mostly it's like, liberal wine moms that love this kind of stuff. It's not really my bag, but whatever floats your boat. If it entertains you, fine. You watch whatever you like. I like watching videos about cars and guitars and, listening to rock and roll music. We all have our own tastes, but I don't want my liberal friends to be turning on Candace Owens to watch some true crime stuff and then get that infused with some hateful right-wing psychosis or bigotry. So, if any of my friends are watching this out there who like the true crime stuff, continue to watch it. Just don't get your true crime from Candace Owens, please.
I did not commit these crimes. I swear that before God and the people watching now and on my family. The people who support me are scared to talk. They are frightened to death that they're going to be canceled.
What I always found to be problematic about the Me Too movement from the beginning, we're conflating he made a pass at me and I didn't like it with rape.
It's a complete fabrication about my relationship with Gwyneth. I didn't put my hand on her. I didn't touch her. I definitely made a pass. Ashley Judd's claims are ridiculous. I settled with Rose McGowan. I gave her $100,000. Don't tell my wife. Don't get me in trouble. It's all conflated, and it's all led to the idea that I am going to be the one they persecute. They broke me. They broke me in half.
There's just so much when you read the transcripts that defy common sense for me.
I've asked to have lie detector tests brought into the prison. So I know they're not admissible, but I want the world to know.
To be honest with you, I think a lot of people are going to hear this conversation.
Candace, one thing I can tell you is this is going to explode.
So now she's whitewashing the reputation of one of the most hated people in Hollywood, Harvey Weinstein, which, by the way, is really ironic because right-wingers hate fucking Hollywood. They really hate Hollywood. And they love to see Hollywood people go down, especially people like Harvey Weinstein. And now we've got a right-winger trying her damnedest to whitewash his reputation. Let's have a recap of old Harvey Weinstein.
Hollywood's most influential power brokers, tonight behind bars, a convicted sex offender. After more than 4 days of deliberations, the jury here in New York found the 67-year-old guilty of 2 counts of sexual assault, including rape. The district attorney called today's decision a moment that will change the course of history.
This is the new landscape for survivors of sexual assault in America, I believe, and this is a new day.
The media mogul faces a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison, acquitted of the most serious charge, predatory sexual assault, which could...
I remember a story, I want to say it was Rose McGowan, but he was at a hotel with her, and he was, I don't know if he was drunk or not, but he approached her in a hallway, and he had his, you know, he was trying to get her to come up to his hotel room, and she did not want to go to his room, so he whipped out his dick and shot a load into a plant in the hallway. I mean, this guy is just straight up scumbag material. If I'm not mistaken, it's like, I don't know, it's like over 50 people have, 50 women have accused him of similar stuff. And meanwhile, now we have Candace Owens protecting his neck.
Have put him behind bars for life. Those charges based in part on Annabella Sciorra's rape accusation. Today, she said, "We can never regret breaking the silence." Tara-Leigh Wolfe testified during the trial.
I never for once thought he would be held accountable, and that's a big part of why I'd never spoke up, because he is him and I was me. But that's...
Yes, that power dynamic. I mean, that's the whole thing about rape and sexual assault. It's not about sex. It's about power. That's the issue. It's about power. And if you are a very powerful politician or executive or Hollywood mogul, you have power over people who are either working for you or trying to get a job in Hollywood, what have you. You have a power dynamic. And now it comes to the exploitation time. How bad do you want this job? Little casting couch action.
It's changed now?
She says Weinstein raped her in 2005, one of 3 witnesses who was brought in by prosecutors to establish a pattern of sexual assault.
What message do you think this verdict sends today?
That it's okay, you have permission, and you should speak up for yourself.
More than 100 women have accused Weinstein of sexual misconduct.
Okay, I was off a little. Not 50, over 100 women. Sure, they're all lying. They all made it up. That's how it works. They all made it up. For fuck's sakes, give me a break. I got one more video of Nick Fuentes, but what do I have? Yeah. Oh, I got 2 more videos. Here's Nick Fuentes.
With a woman?
No.
So how are you telling other people how to behave towards women when you yourself have not had any actual physical, interaction with them in a romantic capacity, or in fact in any capacity? If you are looking to some other regimes around the world that do think that women are half the value of a man, I have to question what kind of a person who's had no experience with women is in a position to basically promote these ideas.
Well, I'm having an experience with a woman right now, and I've had lots of experiences with women in my life, not romantically per se, but I've talked to enough women. I've been in, I've known enough women to know.
Look at that boy. Look at that face. First of all, there's no eye contact. Now, I'm not going to do a body language thing here, but you can tell when somebody is full of fucking shit when they're just sitting there chuckling and not making eye contact, man. It's as plain as the nose on his face.
Oh, sort of what's going on.
How many times did we tell you? These are all like these incel clowns, these right-wing, anti-Semitic, racist clowns. They can't get laid. That's the #1 source of their frustration.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, I'm not just some guy that just has some wagey job. I'm not. I'm more creative. And no, there's anything wrong with having a wagey job, but I'm a creative person. I'm a leader. I have an important role in this. I have lots of responsibilities. I don't have the same priorities. I don't have the same life as somebody that isn't doing this. I couldn't be doing this if I was like that. So anyway, so I appreciate it. It's true, but I don't need to rationalize it or anything. It's like, look, it's, oh, you haven't had sex. It's like, well, I haven't chosen to do that yet. I'm choosing instead to be an historical figure. I'm choosing instead to lead an historical right-wing movement.
Honey, you ain't choosing shit, honey. Women don't want to have sex with you because you're a psychotic Nazi. Maybe if you drop the Nazi bit, stop being an open white supremacist, stop saying psychotic racist ass shit, then maybe you could meet a nice girl and you could actually have sex. I mean, I'm not saying that all incels are this way. I mean, Nick Fuentes is not an ugly person. He probably could find somebody to do the deed with. But people are avoiding you, my friend, because you are crazy. Now, look, there's one more video that I desperately want to show you, but it's a Daily Show, Comedy Central thing. And the last time I did a Comedy Central clip, they copyright me. So I don't know if I want to show this. I did speed this up to 1.25. I really want to show you a couple of things here, but if you see a big edit in the middle of this video, then you know that that was the reason why. So, do I want to risk it? Okay, fuck it.
They say about America, they say diversity is our strength.
How precisely is diversity our strength?
You got to recognize the fact that this is a godless country. I hate it.
You're right. They're godless. That is exactly right. I never talk like that, but it's true.
That right there was what I was saying earlier. It seems like podcasters start off in the, the furthest right wing sphere, and then they get echoed back up the line. You know what? I don't want to show any more of this because I'd much rather just go ahead and keep the video the way it is. Look, watching Nick Fuentes go on to Candace Owens' show and tell her basically, I don't need to take advice from a woman. You're a woman. Shut up and make me a sandwich. I mean, Candace Owens should know better, honestly. Candace Owens has been swimming in these waters for quite a while. And honestly, it's that old saying, you made this bed, now you lie in it. I don't agree with the way Nick Fuentes has talked to her. I think that he is a complete douchebag, asshole, fascist, neo-Nazi, self-aggrandizing neo-Nazi. I obviously don't agree with anything he says. And, my inner take is to defend her against, his, assholery, if you will. But at the same time, these are the waters you swim in. This is the bed that you made. And you invited him onto your show to get insulted. So my empathy meter is running a little low for the Candace Owens types out there. There are no good people in this story, but it is funny to watch. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.